Early entry is getting canceled. Is this good news or bad news for Disney guests? Why is Disney doing this? We'll answer both of those questions while being absolutely shocked at how dead it is in the park today. But there's a reason for that as well. Join us as we take a complete tour around the park, every ride and every attraction. This is our State of DCA report. This is Fresh Baked. I have been waiting to make this video for weeks, you guys. This specific video right here in DCA for two reasons we'll get into as we get into the park, where we're gonna start with a vibe check down Buena Vista Street. And that's on a Monday morning, early afternoon at 11:24 a.m. It is presently 81 degrees out, and I expect it to be a little muggy today. You see some clouds in the skies. Not quite the bright, cheery afternoon that we typically get in Southern California, nor is Buena Vista Street particularly bright and cheery. Something I noticed earlier, it's kind of open here. It's not exactly as busy as I would have thought it would be on this day, considering we are at Tier 0. And that's something that's going to be a running theme throughout this afternoon. One of the two things we're going to be talking about. Tier 0 today, this is the lowest possible price you could pay to come to Disneyland is on this day. It's actually going to be the entire week this week. I think it's maybe Monday through Thursday. I'm not positive Friday. Hopefully I've got a calendar I can show you to verify what I'm saying here. I know it's at least Monday through Thursday. Green all the way across the board there. So that should mean we should be expecting an elevated crowd. People are looking for a discount, right? We'll see how that plays out. I've been waiting for this. We got this one, and then next week we're gonna try to come to Disneyland on a Tuesday for the same thing. Hey guys, for the same thing to see how that plays out. Because that Tuesday I think is gonna follow, there's like a Tier 6 day right before, oh my God, it's gonna be nuts. But anyway, we're here on a Monday afternoon, and I think part of the reason maybe why we're seeing a little less crowds than I would have expected at the outset anyway is because I feel like we're into the Halloween season now. People are coming to DCA to enjoy the Halloween season, and while it is here in the morning, it's more fun in the evening, and I think the locals are waiting perhaps until later on in the day to partake. Although now that I'm looking at it in this direction, things are starting to fill up a little bit in my frame. So hopefully we'll get to capture that as we make our way down Hollywood Boulevard and on our way into the Hollywood backlot. Can't wait till we get into the Q science, like at Mission Breakout. There's some mitigating factors there as well. Toy Story Midway Mania. Let's see, credit coasters open. We got a lot of opportunities there to see how things are working out today. Can't wait to see how the crowds feel. And we're also going to be talking about changes, operational changes that Disney has recently made. Kind of important, and it's going to affect strategy that's throughout the entire day. It's going to affect greatly how people participate in rope drop here at DCA and at Disneyland. This is a change that's going to be happening in both parks across the Disneyland Resort. We did a video that published just a few days ago. We did a rope drop video here from DCA right here on Hollywood Boulevard, right here getting ready to ride Mission Breakout, and we were trying to figure out strategy and what's the best attraction to start off in your morning when you're rope dropping DCA, especially when that rope drop is on an early entry morning. And we concluded, in spite of the fact that it was early entry, Mission Breakout was still the best attraction. You guys should watch that video, it was a lot of fun. But there was a lot of action right here on Hollywood Boulevard with respect to early entry. And lo and behold, like the day, I think it was the day before or the actual day that I published that video, that Disney said, you know what, we're not gonna do that anymore. We're not going to do early entry anymore. We're going to cancel that. We're going to cancel early entry. That's no longer a thing starting January 4th or whatever the day is after the end of the Christmas season, after the holiday season. Following that, no more early entry for hotel guests. No more early entry for guests at Pixar Place Hotel, Grand Californian, or the Disneyland Hotel. Those guests were previously given admittance a half an hour before the proper rope drop, typically 8 a.m., so they would be allowed in at 7:30 a.m. And the parks would alternate. One day would be DCA, the next day Disneyland, next day DCA, that sort of thing. And it was kind of fun. It was kind of exciting, and you got the park to yourself. You could only get in one, maybe two attractions, depending on which ones you chose. So it was, I mean, it wasn't like this huge benefit, not like it used to be. It used to be an hour. You guys remember that? You guys remember what was an hour? Well, they reduced that to a half an hour after maybe a year or two ago. No, I want to say like maybe 2 or 3 years ago. And now it's completely gone. And they're replacing that half an hour early entry with one lightning lane per hotel guest. And of course the debate is, does one lightning lane equal the benefit of being in the park a half an hour early? And that's actually a more nuanced conversation than you might think, and we're going to get into some of that, but I want to first start by going to Hollywood Studios, the back lot, check in on Monsters Inc., do a little recon on this queue, find out how busy it is, and we'll be sprinkling in more commentary about that conversation, because as I mentioned, it's very nuanced. But yeah, the question is, who wins, who loses? What are the pros and cons of getting, because it's not, again, it's not as clear cut. A lot of people just immediately said, no, it's not the same. It's not the same. But I mean, there are some benefits to Disney's plan, and there are some definite negatives there, and we'll get into that. And we've got a 45-minute posted wait time for Monsters Inc. That's closer to what I was expecting arriving here on this $106 day. There's Lightning Lane. That's pretty lengthy Lightning Lane queue right there for Monsters Inc. And it looks like we're using most of the queue here. We're down to the last planner. There's one planner left, so they're filling up everything here. So this much standby plus the amount of Lightning Lane that we just saw suggests that 45 minutes is probably right on the nose. That would be my guess. So on this conversation, it seems like the going strategy would be you pick one or two. You pick either something we talked about in our State of Disneyland report. Going on a high price day, the $196 day or the $200 days, gets you a very quiet park typically. And so there's a trade-off. You can do those days and then not get Lightning Lane. You could walk onto a lot of attractions, or you get the cheap day, the $100 day or the $120 day, and then you buy Lightning Lane for $25, $30, and that sort of creates a little bit of equilibrium. I feel like, personally, I'd rather go on the more expensive day, just because it would be quieter and less hectic. But you're probably going to get in. You're probably going to get in more rides, or at least more short waits with Lightning Lane than you would without, even on a slow day. Keep that in mind too. That's food for thought. Kind of a sea story to this afternoon, by the way, I should add, is that Oogie Boogie Bash is now on here at DCA, going on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. Today is Monday, so there will be no Oogie Boogie Bash today, but that's one of the changes that they made. Judge Doom will be here instead of over by Soarin, which I think is a good move. There's also a lot of really good food out here for the Halloween season. We were here on Friday night for the first night, and we stopped at the studio catering truck and got the Oogie Boogie burrito, which was incredible. I hope you guys saw that episode and saw how much both Liz and I absolutely loved it. 5 out of 5. Come to the studio catering truck, they never miss. It was awesome. That burrito was one of the best things that we've eaten in probably this year. But we'll move quickly and through Hollywood Studios in the back lot and head next to Avengers Campus and Mission Breakout, or Monsters After Dark, depending on when you arrive. Along the way, early entry, getting canceled, pros and cons. The cons, obviously, you could argue that you could probably get in more than one attraction during early entry. You could get in Space Mountain and Star Tours or Buzz Lightyear or maybe Peter Pan or something like that. Probably 2, not more than that, I don't think. 3 is possible, but only if you're doing some of the smaller attractions. Whereas Lightning Lane, you're getting just the one. So there's an argument to be made that is possible, or likely that you're not getting as much value per se on a ride count basis. We mentioned before that we were just recently doing a rope drop test right here on Hollywood Boulevard, and early entry is the perfect vehicle, the perfect tool to allow you to rope drop the rope drop. And we talk about how important that is if you are rope dropping, to be able to get a head start, to get ahead of the rope drop crowd. There's a huge surplus of people here early in the morning, and they're all rushing to the same 2 attractions basically. But early entry lets you kind of slide down the street, and you're ahead of everybody. You're getting something done while everybody else is still waiting at the rope at 8 a.m. to get into the park. So you're getting a very clear head start, and you're doing the thing that you need to do. Rope drop the rope drop. It's the easiest way to get that done. Once you're in that park for that half an hour, it's kind of magical. It's kind of awesome. It's quiet. It's, you feel like you have the place to yourself. And I absolutely get that. Whereas a lightning lane, just getting a free lightning lane is a little more technical. It's a little more, that's great. You use it and it's gone. And it's kind of like vapor. It's fleeting, as it were. The joy, the happiness. Thank you, guys. The happiness, the benefit that you're getting is short-lived. It's just for that one attraction. Whereas, well, I mean, I guess early entry is just a half an hour, but it feels more. It does feel like you're getting more than that. Perhaps it's because it's forcing you to be there early in the park, and you get a head start, and it sort of seems like it bleeds into that 8 a.m. to 8:30 stretch, which is also quite magical, but that's for everybody. Which takes me to one of the pros, though, of this move, where they're giving you a lightning lane instead of early entry. It no longer forces you, this move, to go to the park at 7:30 in the morning. Maybe that's not your thing. Maybe you don't care if you're at the park at 7:30. Maybe you want to get to the park at 9 or 10 o'clock. Maybe it's not important to you to do that. Maybe it's not important to you to get a head start on Mission Breakout, or, well, Mission Breakout, right? So if you were a hotel guest and you want to get a value, get a benefit of being a hotel guest right here on property, and that only value is early entry, but you want to get here at 10, you're like, well, I get nothing. I got nothing. So you no longer are beholden to that 7:30 a.m. starting time in order to get that value, that extracted value of staying on property. And I do feel like that is something that a lot of people who are, I'm seeing on social talking about this, there's a very narrow focus, a very narrow approach to that analysis, and they're forgetting some of the nuanced parts of that conversation. Not to mention, the parks are limited to what you can do on rope drop. Now here at DCA, pretty much everything but Radiator Springs Racers is open for rope drop, Mission Breakout included. You can get in here. We've done it before a couple times. But at Disneyland, it's a whole nother story. At Disneyland, it's just Tomorrowland and just Fantasyland, just those two lands alone. Frontierland, Adventureland, Galaxy's Edge, none of those lands, Toontown, none of those are open for that, so you have to pick. It's basically, it's you choose Fantasyland or you choose Tomorrowland. Or you use that time to rope drop Radiator Springs Racers, get an early, head start on Radiator Springs. On Rise of the Resistance. So that's kind of important. It's a narrow focus on the attractions. That lightning lane can be used on any lightning lane attraction except for Radiator Springs Racers and Rise of the Resistance. But you could use it for Tiana's, Space Mountain, and you could use it for an attraction that you can't get into, let's say at early entry. Haunted Mansion, Tiana's, for example, Millennium Falcon, Indiana Jones. You can't ride any of those early entry, so you are getting a benefit of getting a free ride on an attraction that you couldn't have done in the morning at 7:30. And I've got more to say on that, specifically why. Why did Disney do this? I don't think it's because they felt like property guests weren't getting enough value out of that perk. I don't think it's an altruistic move on their part. There is some other more subversive reason. I've got ideas on that, but let's get back into our analysis here, our park analysis. Recon, let's check out Mission Breakout next, where I have a sneaking suspicion that there is an effect happening here related to Oogie Boogie and Monsters After Dark. We came through here last Friday, first day of the Halloween season, and it was about 1 o'clock. It's 11:50 right now. We came through on Friday at 1 o'clock, and it was a walk-on. Mission Breakout was a walk-on. Now, that is not the case right now. I'm seeing a posted 40-minute wait time, but I'm also seeing a standby. This is standby right here, popping out of the queue. My goodness, it's both, actually. It's people kind of mixing in on the right side for Lightning Lane and a standby queue on the left. They're calling it 40, which must mean that all three gantries are operational. We'll go scope out the queue on the other side, but I cannot believe that they've got a posted 40-minute wait time. What is that? What is that a factor of? Is that the gantries, all three working? Because we've seen it at 65 minutes when all three were working. Or is it factor B? Factor B is Oogie Boogie Bash or Monsters After Dark. People, I think, are waiting. They're gonna ride one time, right? So they're choosing to show up at 3 o'clock for Monsters After Dark. They're using their lightning lane for Monsters After Dark instead of Mission Breakout, and that's creating less action in the lightning lane queue. It's creating less action in the standby queue. People are waiting until 3 p.m. For Monsters After Dark instead of going on Mission Breakout. Now, some people are going to try to do both, I'm sure, but I feel like there is a percentage of guests that are doing that. It doesn't seem to be reconciling with what I'm seeing right here, but that's something that we'll pay attention to. We'll note that, we'll keep that in mind when we go look at the tip board later on. It's going to be about 1 o'clock by the time we do that. But I have a feeling that's what's happening, is that they're holding off. You're not getting as much push here in the early part of the day. All right, let's keep heading into Avengers Campus, where, yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of crowd density here. Could be the character meet there with the Black Panther. Could be people who are getting ready to meet Iron Man. Oh no, never mind. Yeah, it was that, I should say. Because things have opened up here quite a lot, actually. Wow. Almost empty, I would say. This is fascinating. And they just did the Dora Milaje here just a few minutes ago, so there should be some guests here. Well, while we're here, we can do a little impromptu construction update. I can't resist. It's here. I'm sure something has changed since the last time we were here for the last construction update at Avengers Infinity Defense. Let's see. Oh, there's Doctor Strange. Good to see the Doctor here. Actually, it does look quite a bit like it did before. This is about how we left it on Friday. They're starting to fill in a lot of the gaps. You know, the separations between the first and second floor there is a little bit more. Oh, thank you guys.
Yeah.
There's a little more definition on the flooring there, and it looks a little darker, a little more filled in. But otherwise, it looks about as we left it, which is fascinating because they've been making rapid progress here. There's been a lot of activity. I don't actually see anybody working at the moment, though. Do you think they're too late? Do you think they're too late? Do you think that the fervor for Marvel films and the MCU and all that is starting to, I mean, it is starting to wind down a little bit, although Doomsday is coming. And I'm almost positive they're trying to get this done in time so that they can create a little synergy there with Doomsday, and hoping that that revitalizes the MCU. But I feel like things are just not going as well as they had hoped. And it reminds me of the conversation I've had before when we're at Universal, and they decided to build a Fast and Furious coaster there at film 10. No, they're on 11 now. They're filming 11, I think. They've made 10 Fast and Furious movies, and then they finally decided, you know, maybe we should build a roller coaster. And I have to, hey guys, all right. You know, I'm not sure if that's an equivalence, if there is an equivalence there, but I mean, it is fascinating to think that that's what they I find it kind of humorous because I'm not sure if people are interested. Those guys are like, you know, Vin Diesel's pushing 60, right? 50 something. He ain't what he used to be. So maybe the thought is it's an enduring franchise. They've been making Star Wars movies for 50 years and people still want to see that. Do they? I don't know. Oh my God. I know that they're having trouble making movies now. They're a little hesitant. But I kind of wonder, are they doing this at the right time? I will say, though, Avengers Campus is still a complete victory over Bugs Land in terms of value to the Disney company. They're getting a lot more for their money here than they would Bugs Land. I don't know if you noticed, but I have reversed field. I'm back at Mission Breakout because I wanted to just check in real quick. Oh my God. Hey guys, I called it. Kinda. Look at the scene out here, you guys. There's hardly anybody out here. No action. A little bit of guests going there in Lightning Lane. And well, actually, you know what? Let's go. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. It's just about the same time as when we were here on Friday. It's 12:50. And look at that queue. It's almost, look, there's nothing out here, nothing out there, right? It's about maybe half full inside. And now the posted wait time is 25 minutes. 25 minutes. Look at this. Wow. It's not even half. Maybe half. If we're being generous. Half full out here. I do not think this is a factor of the crowd, the park being not busy. I believe that we're going to find lots of long queues ahead of us when we get into other parts of the park. I believe this to be factor B. This is the Monsters After Dark effect, and the closer you get to 3 o'clock, the closer we get to that time when they switch it over. Because actually this attraction is going to close. They close up for like an hour, I think, at like 2 o'clock, and then they convert into Monsters After Dark, and then we'll see long waits for that, and we're going to see longer waits throughout the rest of the park. So we're going to get to that next. We're going to go to Cars Land. No, we got to go to a Web Slingers, but first, while we're here, we're going to get some lunch and a beer at Pimp Test Kitchen. Well, we're finally getting to it, you guys. After seeing this on the menu for months and months, we're finally going to try the Neutron nachos over at Pim Test Kitchen. I've been finding excuses not to do it. I mean, it's not a whole meal. I mean, there is some protein on there, but it's not like a meal. It's impossible. As a matter of fact, the taco meat is impossible taco meat. And that actually has given me pause because I have not been that impressed with their impossible offerings here of late. But today's the day. Today we're getting the Neutron Nachos, blue and red corn tortilla chips, which are very nicely done here on the plate. They look great. Impossible taco meat, seasoned black beans, cheese sauce. Looks really good. Cheese sauce looks really good. Pico de gallo. I love pico. We just talked about that in our Halloween video, how much I love pico de gallo. Sour cream and pickled jalapenos, which I do enjoy as well. So we're gonna I don't know how. Let me show you. I'm not sure where to begin, but I think I'm just gonna pull out one of these chips. You know what, I need a fork or something to kind of scoop that on there, right? Because I want to get some pico on there and everything. Hang on. I've returned with a fork. Of course, I won't be able to film now with the fork and the camera because I only have one hand to do this. So we're gonna build a bite. There it is. By the way, let's just talk about this first. You know what? On second thought, we're gonna just take that bite first and see how everything tastes together. It's not bad. The shell is great, very crunchy still, even though it gets a little bit more, I don't know, moistened, chewy, because of all the, the moisture from the meat and the cheese and all that. It loses some of its crispness. But for the most part, it's good. It's a little on the cold side. Part of that has to do with the fact that I've been sitting here for a second, but I think it was that way when we got down. But the real player in all of this is the Impossible meat. And I have to say, nothing is standing out. It doesn't taste obviously like Impossible meat. It tastes like taco meat. And there's a lot of it on there. There's plenty to spread around all over these different chips. You can make a meal out of this almost. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try a bite with one of those jalapenos. I'm kind of surprised that it tastes as good as it does. It doesn't taste amazing. I'm not like, oh my God, this is the best taco meat I've ever had on a plate of nachos. I long have maintained that the bar for Impossible meat is just tastes like it should. Don't suck. This doesn't suck. The only thing I think that I would ask for on this, again, is for the cheese sauce and the taco meat to be a little hotter. And I mean heat is hot as opposed to cold, not spicier. There's a little bit of spice, you kind of get that, but it's not at all like at the top of the palate. But I would like there to be a little more contrast between the hot and the cold. The cheese sauce needs to be hotter, and the taco meat needs to be a little hotter. And I wouldn't mind more cheese sauce now that I'm looking at it. Put some cheese sauce on top. It's on the bottom part, it's on the shell itself, and that's going to help sort of degrade the integrity of the taco shell, or the tortilla, the chip. You put it on top of the meat, now you're talking. Now, right next door, if you're familiar with Avengers Campus and Pim Test Kitchen, right next door to that is the companion Pim Tasting Lab, which is where they serve alcoholic drinks. It's a bar, per se. I mean, they do have beer at Pim Test Kitchen, and I think some other drinks as well. But they have different assortment next door at Pim Tasting Lab. I have opted for the Belgian brewing company Voodoo Ranger Juice Force Hazy Imperial IPA. Cheers, Fresh Baked.
I'll go see if they have it over there, okay?
That is really dangerous. I had to restrain myself from just putting that back just now. My goodness, that was tasty. Very, very tasty, but I gotta hold it back a little bit because I still got 3 more shells to eat. I'm gonna give the Neutron nachos a 3.5 out of 5. Not bad, but not great either. There are probably better ways that they could prepare this, but I'm not disappointed. So 3.5 out of 5, and that hazy, 5 out of 5. I'm gonna finish this plate, and then we're gonna get back to work. Let's go, Fresh Baked. By the way, I will also note that inside Pim Test Kitchen, there's quite a wait here for standby as well. So there is, a factor of crowds happening in the park or in DCA today. It's just not everywhere, and we're seeing pockets of deadness. Let's see what's happening at Web Slingers next. Yeah, it looks pretty standard in there, I think. That is a posted 35 minutes, so this is a pretty normal looking queue that we find here on a weekly basis. Back at the queue right here at the brick wall, and it does look like they are going back into the blue bullpen back there, so it's pretty standard. 35 minutes is about right. It's not packed though. I would have expected a bigger crowd here on this day, this $106 ticket day. Very little action here at Lightning Lane also, which is again kind of unexpected. I mentioned before, I feel like the optimal strategy is if you're going to be here on this day, if you're going to choose a $106 day, a tier 0 day, then you should probably be looking at Lightning Lane. But so far we're seeing Monsters Inc. was 45 minutes. That looked a little beefy, but Mission Breakout wasn't bad at all. Web Slingers wasn't bad at all. I guess we got to go to Cars Land next to see. We'll know. Oh, we can't even look at Radiator Springs Racers. Come on. And there's Spider-Man. What's up, Spider-Man? Gonna go meet some guests. It's awesome. We're going to Cars Land. We're still gonna go, even though Radiator Springs Racers isn't open, because we gotta check out. I wonder what the impact is. If you go to Radiator Springs Racers, you see it's closed. Do you go to Luigi's and Mater's? I would go to Mater's and Luigi's before I would go to Radiator Springs Racers, but that's just me. But I don't think there's going to be any impact at all. I think we're going to find a 20-minute wait at Mater's and a 20-minute wait at Luigi's. That's my prediction. We're also going to find Halloween. They do a great job here of decorating for Halloween. It's kind of fun, and it gives you just one more reason to come to Cars Land. I wish they would do Halloween and Christmas, for that matter, in the entire park. I feel like every land should have Halloween and Christmas decorations, not just these chosen lands, as it were. All right, here we go. Yeah, standard. Mater's Junkyard JamBOOree. Posted at 15 minutes. Can I just say again, I don't like this sign. I like the one that looked more like a barrel. I don't like this sign. Okay, so 15 minutes, and it's probably not even that. That is a very nominal queue. In fact, I'm in the mood. Let's find out. We're running both sides, so I feel like this is probably going to be half that. Posted 15, I'm expecting to be in a vehicle or next to a vehicle in 7 or 8 minutes. We're gonna just miss. We're at 7 minutes right now. We're so close, but we're gonna have to wait for this rotation to finish, which will put us at about 10 and a half minutes is my guess. 3 minutes from now, we'll be heading into the next rotation. On second thought,
Right-hand side, okay?
thank you, right-hand side. Because I'm a single, they had one car open for me. So in fact, I mean, it's kind of I wasn't supposed to be in here, but I did make it in 8 minutes because I'm solo. If there had been a pair, a couple, they also would have gotten in. But I was able to jump the queue a little bit. Oh no, I missed the fun little Mater intro. He said, "Welcome."
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Wait, oh, there he goes.
It's me, Mater. For your safety, please remain seated with your seatbelt securely fastened and keep your hands on the
He did a welcome foolish, I think it was Motors, welcome foolish Motors. Well done, Mater. You can always count on Mater being extra clever.
Well, it was ghastly. That's funny.
Did you hear about the ghost at the fueling station? I missed the beginning. It was ghastly. Mater. It's one of the reasons why I love this attraction, is the dad jokes. They're always best. It's a very simple, modest attraction. It's fun for the whole family. I love it. Ah! And it's better than Alien Saucer Spin at Hollywood Studios. This one's just a little bit faster. It's a little bit faster. You get a little bit more whiplash there. Oh my God! The camera was facing the wrong. I like the music better here too. Oh my God! You can't believe the whiplash I just got. I wasn't ready. The key to enjoying this attraction is to let go, to not be ready, to be loose. And when it happens, you go. That's when you get the proper booty slide. I had planned to talk about how quiet it was today, but I'm having too much fun on Mater's Junkyard JamBOOree. It's not busy today. It is not busy. We'll pick that up. I'm surprised though. I'm surprised about how it should. I would have, if you had asked me, I would have expected this park today to be absolutely full to the brim, shoulder to shoulder guests. Halloween 106. Where is everybody?
I tell you what, some days you just can't stop.
Yeah, man, I don't know. Again, right here on Route 66, this should be packed right now. I mean, maybe it's that thing I mentioned earlier about, I feel like locals, etc., are going to want to be here at night. Because when we were here on Friday, I couldn't believe how dead it was. Hi, guys. I couldn't believe it was park-wide. It was quiet all around the park. But as soon as the party started, and I'm saying like maybe 5 or 6 o'clock, then things really started to crank up. But it was dead up until then. And that was the first day of the Halloween season. People are here for the treats though, my goodness. Okay, here we go, that's something. That's a lot of guests waiting in both mobile order and standby. There you place your orders here, and then you pick up on the left at the cones. Both sides are busy except for Cone Queso. But this is where we got my margarita on Friday. That's got a pretty decent queue. Nobody's up for popcorn though. Absolute dead at the pop cone. Definitely the least popular of all the cones is cone number 5, pop cone. Happy Halloween, everybody. Trick or treat. So it is 1:19. We're gonna pop into Flo's real quick. Let's just see what it looks like. We should be kind of peak-ish. It's a little late for the lunch rush, but there should still be some guests here. Oh my gosh, okay, open up. And there's 5. 1, 2, 3, I'm gonna call that 4 groups. Some of those are together. 4 groups and hardly anybody standing by here for mobile order. Very quiet, very quiet. Let's actually, you know what? I'm just gonna take a quick, this is something we don't do often, but I wanna see how much seating there is inside. It's cool. I should say, it's cool in here. It's hot out, it's 80 plus. So there should be no tables in here. And there are not. It is absolutely 100% occupied. But a bunch of tables out here available. Now this usually isn't full. It's not usually 100%, but it's quiet enough to suggest that this is a continuation of a very slow afternoon here at DCA. Wow. I mean, it's one thing to not be busy, but it's another thing to be kind of dead. It's kind of dead. And it's $100 today. $106. Tier 0. 0. This is the day I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna see something. Am I wrong? Have I been wrong? You know what, we'll find out, we'll know for sure when we're here next Tuesday. Not here, at Disneyland next Tuesday. If it's the same thing again, then there's gonna be cause for conversation. In the meantime, we'll check in on Luigi's, Casa Dado Tires, posted 15 minutes. Nothing going on over there. I mean, a few people just jumped in ahead of me. They've got their pumpkin tires out. These are always great. Still haven't found the back of the queue. Oh my gosh, it's like 2 rotations. Way up there, you guys. The back of the queue is way up there. I don't understand. Radiator Springs is closed. I remember I said there should be maybe an effect happening. All those guests, maybe everybody knows, I guess. Radiator Springs, or maybe, no, that's too much. No, is Radiator Springs Racers being closed enough to people just say, I don't want to go to DCA, period? Is that enough? I don't know. Does that affect your decision? Answer that. Anybody in the comments below, tell me, did you change your plans? Did you say no to DCA because Radiator Springs Racers was closed? Is that enough to just cancel any plans to go to DCA, period? My gut instinct is no, but I mean, I kind of get it. Like, it's the draw. It's the draw at DCA. It turns a potential full day park possibly into definitely like a half day park. And here we go. Here is DCA, Radiator Springs Racers closed. And if this isn't bad enough, I've seen these construction walls up telling you the road is closed ahead. If that's not enough, whatever the answer is, obviously DCA is not the same place. It's not the same visit to the parks. It's not the same park. It's not the same value without Radiator Springs Racers. It is absolutely the cornerstone of this entire park. And it's not the same. It's just not the same without it. Half day park at best. You can't even take a proper photo in front of Ornament Valley here because you've got scaffolding all over the place in your background. There's so much stuff happening right here. They've got staging, more scaffolding. They're gonna run this. You can see they've started down here, but there's lots more. This, what you're seeing here in frame there, that's just more scaffolding. That looks kind of like a trench box actually. But this right here, this is more scaffolding and they're just gonna build more of it here. And there's more on the other side over there. If you were to look through the walls, the construction walls at the entrance, you'd see more scaffolding at that first turn. A not insignificant update, but it's still, it's still gonna be about a month or so, or just a month or so, according to the calendar. So it's not extensive, it's not very invasive. It looks bad. It looks bad when you look at all that scaffolding there, but it's not as bad as it looks. And that, of course, brings us to San Fransokyo Square. This is where it's another measuring stick, another benchmark to see how truly busy the park is today. Will there be a lot of open tables? What's standby look at Cocina and Lucky Fortune? It actually looks kind of full out here. Looks pretty busy. It smells great. It smells great. Love the sound. Love the visuals of Hero and Baymax greeting guests. But la 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 la. Cocina. Hi. Cocina looks not. It's it's half busy there. There's a decent sized queue, but certainly we've seen worse. We've seen it out here. Just full of guests. 20, 30 minute wait, but this is looking like half that. 10 or 15 maybe. And I am seeing some tables. They just sat down on one. There's one right there. Let's see. Not a lot though. One over there. Half a table. There's half a table right there. Another half over there. Table for two. So it's busy-ish. Oh, that reminds me. I've got to start my drinking my way around DCA video soon. When are we going to do that? In the near future, we're going to be doing instead of drinking around the world at Epcot, we're going to drink our way around DCA. I'm going to start that because I'm an innovator. Nobody's done that yet. Everybody's done drinking around Epcot, but nobody's drunk their way around DCA, and I'm going to do it. There's 7 or 8 different lands at least, so we're looking at 7 or 8 different drinks. And San Fransokyo here is going to be one of our stops. And I think it's going to be here at Rita's Blenders because I love margaritas. And as for Lucky Fortune, not too bad. We often see guests out here in this section, guests waiting there, but it's just about maybe 3 or 4 groups there at Lucky Fortune Cookery. I know that sounds like a lot, 8 drinks. It's probably going to be an expensive as heck video to make. We'll try to put a lot of beer in there, but I'm going to spend $150 on drinks alone. But the thing is that I metabolize quickly. It's going to be hot. I'm going to be sweating. I'm going to be eating and walking. So it's easy to process all that. So it's not as bad as it sounds. We just came into Encast Cafe to check out standby. 2 people in the standby queue and very few people loitering, waiting for their mobile order. So it's not busy in here. Yeah, man. Not bad at all here at San Fransokyo. It's kind of delightful. This is kind of a very pleasant day. And it's not even that hot. Right now, the temperature is 85 degrees. Humidity is not bad at all. I was definitely dying more. The 85 at Florida was way worse than the 85 here in California, in my opinion. But that's that here at San Fransokyo. Let's go take a look at the Tipboard as we cross the bridge. Really curious. I'm really curious. Okay, Golden Zephyr, 15 minutes, naturally. Goofy Sky School is closed, so we can't see any Recon there. Grizzly River Run is 55, okay. There's my wife asking me how it's going. It's going great, babe. I love you, I miss you. Grizzly River Run 55 and an hour and a half return time. I mean, it's hot today. I want to be on Grizzly River Run right now. There it is. Guardians is still at 25 minutes. It should be closing any minute now, but also notice that Monsters After Dark is, well, gosh, they still have lots of multi-passes available. I've never tested this before, so I don't know if you can choose. I don't know if you can or not. I think you just take whatever's next. So you just basically have to abstain from booking a lightning lane until 3 o'clock, or no, maybe not, no, or until the regular mission breakout is sold out or closed, because it's not currently offered now. But that's a modest return time. For 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a return time at 5 o'clock is great. I mean, that's great. Incredicoaster, okay, here we go. Now it's happening. Although I'm looking across the bay and I don't see 60 minutes worth of guests. They're calling it 60 minutes on the Tipboard, 2:50 and almost an hour from now for lightning lane return. I'm telling you, I'm looking across the bay and it looks pretty normal over there. I can't wait to check that out. Emotional Whirlwind is standard, 10 minutes. Jesse's is 5. Jumping Jellyfish is 15. Little Mermaid is 35? You don't say. I mean, it does look busy over there. I just turned around. It does look busy over there. Wow, 30, you know, that's the heat. It's got to be the heat, right? Luigi's is 15, Mater's is 10. Wow. Okay, Monsters is still at 45, but the return time is pretty modest, 2:35. Pixar Pal Around is 30. Redwood Creek is open. I can't wait to walk through there today. Silly Symphony is 10. That's a walk-on. Soarin is a modest 30. Okay, so if Little Mermaid is busy because of the heat, so too should be Soarin. No? Fascinating. Toy Story 55. Return time in just under 2 hours. That's pretty modest also. I would have expected worse. Web Slingers is somehow at 50 minutes. I don't understand that. And a return time of over an hour. So it's, in some cases, it's kind of normal busy, but not excessive busy, not crazy busy. In other cases, it's still dead. Fascinating. I'm still on the perplexed side of things as far as that spectrum of reactions go. I'm still kind of perplexed that at $160, it's not as busy today. It's got to be a combination or an addition, an aggregate of the Halloween season, so people want to come later in the day, and Radiator Springs Racers. But I want to finish the conversation about why. Why did Disney suddenly decide that they want to end early entry in favor of a single Lightning Lane pass for hotel guests? And you know, there is a reason. There's always a reason. Now, according to Scott Gustin on Twitter, who was one of the earlier folks to break this news, Disney says that it was underutilized, that people weren't using it enough, and therefore, you know, they felt like it wasn't getting enough value for the guest. Now, I'm a Disney apologist for the most part. I pretty much will defend them in a lot of ways, but on this, I have to disagree. All you have to do is look at the last DCA rope drop we did. There was a bunch of people queuing up just to have the chance at being at the front of the line for rope drop at Radiator Springs Racers. People were using, they were definitely using early entry. I mean, I don't know what the expectation was. Maybe they had a different kind of expectation about how much they should be using it. But that's Disney's, and you know, of course, it stands to reason that they're going to blame, or not blame, but put it on us, the guest. We're the reason why they're ending early entry, right? It's not Disney. They're not the ones doing it. We're the reason. We're not utilizing it. So, you know, they're thinking about us. They're looking out for us as a guest. So because we're not using early entry enough, let us give you this different benefit. I disagree. The way I see it, when you rope drop, and then, or also in addition to that, you early entry, you can get a lot of work done. You can get a lot of attractions in a short amount of time, especially with guidance from Fresh Baked. We have made a science and an art form out of maximizing your time in that early part of the morning, to the point where you can get away with not getting Lightning Lane. Hey, how are you guys? All right. You can get a lot done without having to take advantage of Lightning Lane. We've done a lot of extensive research on this. It can be done. And I feel like Disney is thinking that early entry is enough, in combination with using, you know, good rope drop strategy, is enough that people aren't buying Lightning Lane. This is what this is. They're not selling enough Lightning Lane. They're trying to stimulate more Lightning Lane sales. And the very first thing that I observed, or I thought of, when I saw that they were making this change is, the first one is free. Hi, how are you? Whenever you're trying to get somebody to do a thing, if you're trying to, you know, if you want to get them hooked on a thing, give them the first one free. That's kind of a known, look at, this is not 60, what the hell? Okay, I gotta bench that conversation for a minute. They called this 60 minutes, not 10 minutes ago on the app. There is nobody here, that's a 10-minute queue. 10 or 15 tops, there's nobody here, nobody there, nobody on the bridge out here, on the actual pier. Let's go see if they've changed it. What in the world was suggesting to them that this was a 60-minute queue? And they've still got it 60 minutes. How is that possible? That's outrageous. It says 60 minutes right there. There's no way. 60 minutes would be out here on the pier. Not, this is 10 or 15 right here. That's 5 right there. There's no way. What in the world? There's no way. That's either shenanigans or not paying attention to the details. Okay, we're gonna look at that in a second. The first one is free, right? So they're gonna give you a lightning lane with the idea, the hope that you say, oh my gosh, that was incredible. We took advantage of that. We knocked off 45 minutes from our Space Mountain ride. We saved a bunch of time. We should get that more. We should buy more lightning lane. Now the issue here is that it kind of sucks because on that same conversation, maybe that's all you need. If I were coming to the park and I knew what I was doing, I may only want one lightning lane. Sometimes people buy lightning lane and they use it just for 1 or 2 attractions, and then they're good. They don't need it for the whole thing. They don't use every single lightning lane attraction, so I feel like this could still backfire. But I think that's the main why. See you in 5 minutes, guys. But still, I think it might work because people like free stuff. It's becoming more and more normal for companies to charge you for things that used to be free. You go to Vegas, you have to pay. If you put something in the refrigerator in your room in Vegas, you have to pay. I think it's like $50 a day in some hotels, which is also, absolutely outrageous. You talk about reasons to not do a thing. Charging me to use the refrigerator is a reason not to go to Vegas, in my opinion. But anyway, this could work in that sense, but it's also, they've taken away a benefit and they're giving you something that's meant to, I don't know, it could be a positive. I don't know, I may have to do some more analysis on that and think about it more specifically. Maybe ask people, maybe I'll put this on social or something like that, but I'm really curious to see if, wow, Toy Story, Midway Mania. Nope. Posted 60 at Incredicoaster was probably closer to 10 or 15 minutes. And look at this queue here, that's nothing. You're gonna spend 16, maybe 18, 19 minutes out here. And it's a 25 minute wait at tops, 25. Wow, and it's posted, I didn't even look yet. It's posted at 40, which is nominal still. Even that is less than you normally find it here at Midway Mania, but the park is absolutely, positively not busy. It is dead. It's only been maybe 5 minutes or so since I was at Incredicoaster, but I want to go back and check. I want to stand by. I got to know, are they doing anything about that wait time? 60 minutes is just so incredibly wrong. There we go. Yes, okay. The fresh baked effect has happened once again. They have adjusted that 60 minutes down to 25. 25 minutes, and it's still not even that. It's probably closer to 15 or so, if that, but at least it's more reasonable. It's a mystery to me how they decided, how they came up with that 60-minute figure to begin with. What could the queue have looked like? Because I don't see a queue at any point this day that could have looked like 60 minutes, and then for them to leave it there, that's just incredible. But again, getting back to the early entry thing, my gut instinct is that this is the first one is free type situation, but I do think it could backfire because I think that if, I may even do a whole video on that. It's like, if you were given one lightning lane, where should you use it? I think there's a story there. There's a strategy to be used for those guests. And I think you could actually make that whole day work for you if you still rope drop. You have to rope drop. But it's a benefit for those guests who don't want to rope drop. They are getting some benefit. So I feel like it's not, as I mentioned earlier this morning, it's not as clear cut as you might think. This is absolutely a lose for the guest. I think that there is some win for some of those hotel guests. But at the same time, I also think Disney's not out here trying to do us a bunch of favors. You know what I mean? Like, they're still trying to do what's best for Disney at the end of the day. And with that, it is now, let's see, 2:15 in the afternoon. We'll make our way to the Pixar Pal Around. Looks like Anger's out here meeting guests. He's probably my favorite of the Inside Out characters that you can meet, drawing a crowd. They had it at 30. They had it at 30 on the app. That now says, the swinging gondola now says 15. And non-swinging is at 10. Where'd it go? It's in there somewhere. That's about right. Love to see this. Hardly anybody in the queue here for swinging. That's about a 15-minute wait. And I love saying, oh my gosh, it's not even 10. The back of the queue is on that last stretch right there. It's not this corner, it's not that corner, it's not that corner, it's not even the far corner down there. Well, it is now. That's the back of the queue right there. Right there. So that's maybe 10 minutes, if that. Depends on where they are in the cycle, but this is an absolute victory for standby. I'm just really, really surprised. Really, really surprised at how slow it is compared to what my expectations were. If it had not been a $106 day, if it had just been a regular Monday afternoon, knowing that it's the Halloween season, I might have said, yeah, that makes sense for locals, etc., to come here in the evening rather than the morning, because I do think that that's the trend that happened when they went to the reservation system. I do think the locals shifted from a morning or an evening crowd to a morning crowd. It used to be the after work crowd, and now I think that they're coming in the morning more often than they were in the evening, and that shifted the busy times to the morning and less so in the evening. But with Halloween here now, really it does make sense. Half the show is when the sun goes down. While we're here at Emotional Whirlwinds, posted 15, and it's not even that. You're looking at 2 rotations there, so you'll be in the vehicle in about 7 minutes, is my guess. They've already loaded this one. They're gone, so they're going to take half this group. I would say probably at least to the U-turn here, but perhaps more. All of those guests are going to be in the next group in, and so anybody after that, these guests right here, they're going to be in the next one. So that's maybe 6 minutes, 6 to 8 minutes. Now I don't know what the title and thumbnail is of this video. You guys let's talk about that. Is the title and the thumb going to be early entry and how it's changed, and put a sign, the early entry sign with an arrow on it saying it's over or something like that? Or is it going to be, where is everybody? Is this going to be a where is everybody thumbnail and title? I think I'm going to go with early entry probably. Silly Symphony, 2 rotations there, so you're looking at 10 minutes or less as well. Let's take a peek through and let's see how busy it is at Paradise Gardens. We know, for example, that Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta is one of the greatest secrets, one of the best kept secrets of quick service. You can, if you're hungry and you don't want to wait in a long standby line, although you're probably not going to find one no matter where you go today, but there's never any waiting here. You just slide up and grab yourself a plate right there. Slide up, grab yourself a slice of pizza, just ask for one. There's nobody waiting for pizza right now. Nobody waiting for a salad here. Boardwalk Pizza and Pasta is absolutely a walk-on, as it were, if you're going to use the same. Hardly anybody waiting to check out. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Let's go next door to Paradise Garden, where there is a little bit more, Paradise Garden Grill, where there's a little bit more standby. got about 5, 6 groups, but they have multiple cashiers going. They have 2 cashiers. So this will just be a few minutes as well to get some delicious food. We got recently, while we're talking about Halloween food, we got the loaded chicken quesadilla on Friday. That's also part of the Halloween menu. That was also delicious. We had a great time eating that, Liz and I. I have so much fun making those videos with my wife. Hi, how's it going? We got to find more reasons to get her down here, perhaps, and enjoy a day with me, because we do so much park nights now. And she doesn't get to come on the show as often as she used to, because we basically just do the food stuff with her. Because I need help. But man, we have a lot of fun. Liz and I have so much fun filming stuff, and we had a great time that night. I hope you guys caught that video.
No worries.
Our opening night of Halloween. We got a Oogie Boogie Bash video coming up. We're going to be at Oogie Boogie on Thursday, and we're bringing Sophia. So if you are interested, oh, there's a show happening. Okay, I'm walking right into the show. If you've been waiting to see Sophia in a video, our 5-year-old daughter, stay tuned for Oogie Boogie. Got to come in the back way to check out Goofy Sky School, and it looks like it's closed. That is an X attraction. All those guests are facing the wrong direction. They're all leaving. They're getting their MEPs, and there is no posted wait time, and people are leaving the attraction. Man, no analysis to do there either. I always have a good time looking at the queue for Goofy Sky School. We always learn something, or we usually learn something at Goofy. It's a great place. It's a great reference point for Q Science, but I guess we'll just have to keep going and make our way to Little Mermaid Ariel's Undersea Adventure, where they had it at 35 minutes, you guys. They had it at 35 minutes. Little Mermaid. I mean, that's got me thinking maybe we should do a test there. Plus, get out of this heat. We'll note on the way that Golden Zephyr is a walk-on. That's one rotation only there. And then across the way, that is actually a good-sized queue for Little Mermaid. You can see the guests up there in that switchback. And if we go around the backside to the Under the Sea section, it's pretty backed up there. I don't think I want to get in that queue today. I was thinking about it, but that does look like a decent flight. I don't think it's 35 minutes. It's going to move quick, but I do think, although they are kind of parked, they are kind of not moving a little bit. You see a lot of people posted, which is interesting. Even with Lightning Lane, that still is a very efficient attraction. I'm kind of surprised to see that 35 minutes considering the rest of the park. Everybody's trying to get out of the heat. You know what, I forgot to mention, let's go back a little bit. One other change that Disney announced at the same time as the early entry change. This little exit, or entrance as it were, in between Corndog Castle and Seaside Souvenirs. That's an access point that you can use to get into the park from the Pixar Place Hotel. Those guests staying at the Pixar Place Hotel, there's a little secret entrance down there as you cross the street before you get into Grand California. That little path takes you in here. They built this recently, less than a year ago. Hi guys. They built it less than a year ago. They even installed the new scanners and everything there.
Hello, everyone.
It's done. They're closing that as well for the same reason. They were saying that it's underutilized. Now that might be true. It's probably costing them more to operate that because they have to have cast there at the entrance scanning people and all that stuff. But I mean, and they tried to sell it. I remember when this first happened, they were in the process of updating the Pixar Place Hotel from Paradise Pier Hotel. And they were trying to make that to be this amazing, benefit, this perk for those hotel guests to get into the park at the secret entrance. But I kind of feel like, who wants to come into this park at Paradise Garden? Who wants to enter DCA here? I mean, I'm sure that some people want to save a little bit of time and a little bit of steps, but for the most part, I think a lot of guests are closer to my way of thinking. I want to go the proper way. I don't like the idea of having multiple ways into a park. I like the one entrance. That's the way Walt wanted it. One entrance into the park so they can tell the story that they want you to see. But that rule applies a little less here at DCA than it does at Disneyland. Disneyland is absolutely, there's a story. They're trying to tell you something. They're trying to present things to you in a very specific way. Not so much here at DCA. This is a pierside, type park. This is a Coney Island type park. It's not meant to play by the same rules as Disneyland. So I would have given them more grace for that. But I guess it's probably accurate. I don't even know if people even knew I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bunch of Pixar Place Hotel guests who have no idea that you can enter the park that way. But it's over. That's going to be done soon, or if not, well, I don't know how soon, but it's coming up. And they're saying that those guests can enter through the Grand Californian. I mean, I guess that's better than having to go all the way through downtown Disney to the main entrance. With that, we'll start to wind things down here, you guys. It's 2:39 in the afternoon. 85 degrees out right now. And I would give my right arm to jump into that water. I don't want to go on that. I just want to jump in the water. That looks so refreshing, even though I know it's like not even potable water, but that looks so refreshing. These guests are going to have a great time at Grizzly River Run right now. Perfect conditions for that.
It's very high.
I was asked earlier today if they run Villains Grove all day or every night at DCA, whether or not there's an Oogie Boogie Bash, and the answer is no. Villains Grove is only for Oogie Boogie Bash, but Redwood Creek is open when it's on non-Oogie Boogie days. You can't walk through there. It's just you're going to get regular Redwood Creek, like today. Today is a non-Oogie Boogie night. Oh, look, it's Chip and Dale.
Can we get a photo over here, friend?
I almost called them brothers. The brothers Chip and Dale, but they're not. They are not brothers. I just learned that like a month ago. I'm ashamed to say I had always thought that they were brothers. Seems like they should be. Still no water here at Redwood Creek. Creek being the operative word of this place. It is no longer Redwood Creek. It is now Redwood Ditch. Absolute shame. Absolute. This is harder for me going through this than Big Thunder was, because Big Thunder is a mountain and a railroad first, and that has a waterfall. This literally is Redwood Creek. The whole point of this area is to be that it's a creek, that you get to walk around and play and enjoy a place that is it's a creek first. It's a shame. I hope they have a good reason. That's all I can say. But very, very quiet, by the way. I noticed that the zip line is not functioning. It's closed. I don't know if it's because of reasons, but it's not open. This is open, but there's no kids playing here at the rock wall. There are some kids running about on the other side. Some kids coming out of the caves, but not so much. Let's see how freely we can walk on the bridge. It's almost always the case that I have to stop recording and pull over for a minute and try to find space, but I am not having to do that today. No, very few guests. I see one guest walking down the rope bridge, that thing, but nobody up here. It is dead as disco at Redwood Creek. I sure hope Disney doesn't come to some sort of conclusion that Redwood Creek is underutilized. I sure hope they don't use that phrase like they did for the path from DCA or early entry or the Rivers of America and Tom Sawyer Island at Magic Kingdom. I sure hope they never use those kind of words here at Redwood Creek. This is why I tell everybody to go utilize the Mark Twain and the Columbia and Tom Sawyer Island here at Disneyland. Utilize it. Make it purposeful. Make a point to enjoy these spaces. This area here, Redwood Creek, though, is normally pretty busy. But I think it's just today is another one of those factors. It's quiet today, not because people don't want to go to Redwood Creek, but because the park is dead. The park is underutilized. What would Disney do if they decided the whole park is underutilized? Grizzly River Run, though, I do not believe today is underutilized. We saw a 55-minute wait on the Tipboard earlier today, about an hour ago, if I recall. Yeah, just about an hour ago, and it is still a 55-minute wait. That's a pretty healthy lightning lane right there. That's Lightning Lane in your frame. But the standby actually doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty normal. We've seen that queue often. And again, they've got ropes up out here, but nobody's in them, which means they were expecting more guests, but didn't get them. And yeah, it's just back there at the office. That's a very standard queue for Grizzly. I don't think that's 55 minutes. We'll take a minute though to catch some rafters. Coming through the finale, the geysers aren't on. There's no geysers. This one is usually on almost always. Same for that one over there. And I haven't seen this one come up. People are waiting, they're watching, they're expecting geysers, but I see none. Oh no. What happened, I wonder? Nary a geyser in our sights. Still though, I would love to be on Grizzly River Run right now. Oh my gosh, that looks nice.
Some old lady. It's like, why don't you teach your kids some manners?
Last test of the day to see how truly busy or not busy it is, though I don't expect I'll be changing my assessment in any way, no matter what I find here at Soarin. But one thing I can tell you is there's nobody out here in this extended part. They have not grown the queue out here. It is just right there. My expectation then at that point would be probably 35 to 40 minutes. And the reality, well, according to the posted wait time anyway, is 45 minutes, so it's right about in that neighborhood. I mean, it's a little bit longer, like 35 would probably be here, and then that's 45 that way. But yeah, it's stuck here. This is an attraction that you should be getting into on a hot day like today. No Lightning Lane though. I don't think they sold a lot of Lightning Lane today. Probably because they had everybody coming here for early entry and they didn't sell enough Lightning Lane, so they're gonna have to do something about that. Sarcasm, of course. That brings us back to Carthay Circle at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. We've been at this for just about 4 hours, guys. What a day, huh? Shocking, surprising, amazing. I would not have predicted that we would find the day we did today with respect to crowds. And I'm expecting things to be a little, it's gonna pick up. When the evening rolls around, people are gonna show up and they wanna hit all those rides at dark, see those lights, so it's still gonna happen. I think that's gotta be a large part of, sorry, I had to get a selfie there. A large part of the reason why it is the way it is. I don't think this is gonna be one of those, oh my God, Disney's dying. I'm pretty sure it's not that. But let us know what you think in the comments below. And then thank you guys for watching. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Respect.